Honorable Yusuf Buba Yakubu is a member of the Federal House of Representatives representing Hon.Gombe Federal Constituency of Adamawa State under the platform of All Progressive Congress APC. Honorable Yusuf was born in 1968. He attended government secondary school, Meha. After his education and prior to being elected into the Federal House of Representatives, he founded and became the chairman stroke managing director of Yakubu Ventures Nigeria Limited, a company whose objective is commercial farming and real estate development. Check out his journey into politics on the gallery.
And I welcome you to another exciting edition of your program, Big Gallery. My name is Mercy, and today on our wonderful program, we have a wonderful man, a man who has done a lot to touch the life of the society that have given him so much. And I won't do much of his introduction, but he's no other person than Honorable Yusuf Buba Yakubu. It's so nice having you on the gallery. So how are you doing?
Okay.
Are you sure? Tell us more about being a businessman, being a politician, and also a farmer. Most especially the farmer aspect of it.
Well, I've been in politics since I was 20 years old. And that was during the SDP days.
Okay.
I started as a local government treasurer of the SDP, and then during the non-party days, during the General Abacha political experiment,
okay.
I contested as a local government chairman, and then after that, we transformed into 5 political parties. I was in the UNCP, I was a state organizing secretary of the UNCP, and after that we transformed to the PDP, AMPP.
Okay.
I was also a state officer in the APP before the AMPP, and during the PDP days I was in PDP briefly. During the 1999 elections, I served on the accreditation committee of the Just Convention. I was also one of the agents for the presidential elections for President Obasanjo. And after that, we formed the ACD. I was the founding national treasurer of the ACD, and later I was national chairman of ACD for 6 years before I contested election in the APC to come to the House of Representatives. And on the other side, that is the farming side, I started farming from the grassroots. I was not born in the village, but I just chose, I love agric, I love farming, and I went to my grandfather in the village and started practicing farming. Now I grew up in that line too, and I have gone into commercial agriculture.
Okay. Now, so let's talk more about as a chairman committee on Chinese relations. Now tell me, how has it been, you putting or bringing the Chinese together to do some investment? How has in that position, what have you been doing to help the society?
Nigeria and China has a lot of things in common. And when you talk of population, China is the most populated country in the world with over 1 billion population. And Nigeria is the 6th most populated country in the world with about 180 million population. And now China has gone through what we are going through right now. In the 60s, 70s, our GDP was far better than China. But today, within a period of 40 years, China has transformed to become if not the greatest nation, one of the greatest nations in the world. And so Nigeria, we have a lot to learn from China. First, they conquered hunger, that is the agricultural sector. After that, they went into industrialization. And today, they are fully industrialized, and they want to go out to other nations to put in those industries. So what we are encouraging is, instead of importing things from China, because you know almost in every house in Nigeria you have a Chinese product, we want to encourage them to come in and partner with our businessmen and put in these industries in Nigeria so that we'll create jobs for our people. You know, we have millions of unemployed youths and women in this country. So we want them to come in and partner with us so that we can produce made in Nigeria good. If we like, we call it made in Nigeria with China. And so that is where we are with them.
Now, sir, with what is happening in the country, the Nigerian people have lost confidence in this present government. As one of the party members and honorable members as well, what do you have to say? What is your take on this?
Well, I don't want to believe Nigerians have lost confidence in the government, and I also want people to know that it is always very easy to destroy than to build. This country has been bastardized for so many years now, and this government is trying to rebuild. In fact, we don't even have a foundation right now. So what this government is trying to do is to set the foundation, to have a solid foundation, build on transparency, build on rule of law, where the government institutions will be strengthened to function very well, not depending on any individual, where corruption will be a thing of the past. And with corruption, there is no way we can move forward. So everything was bastardized. So the Buhari administration started with the fight against the corruption, and then we also met insecurity. With insecurity, there is nothing you can do. You can't rebuild a nation that is in war. So we thank God, a lot of successes have been achieved. The insecurity issues are piping down, and in terms of corruption, at least people are now conscious of the dangers of corruption. So we are making a lot of progress, and I assure you that if we continue in this line, in the next few years, Nigeria will come back to its feet again.
That's wonderful. Now, sir, how can you describe Adamawa state of years back and this present here that we have? How can you describe it?
Adamawa state is growing, and we have witnessed a lot of changes. For instance, this crop of people in government are really doing their best. At the state level, there is a lot of transformation, because in the past, if you go to the Adamawa state capital, that is Yola, you would think it is a state that is in war, because all the roads, networks are not there. But today, you go to Yola, it's a beautiful city with all the road network beautifully laid, and the city is lighted up. And when you go down to the grassroots, the members of the National Assembly from Adamawa State, the crop of members we have, they are really doing their best, because they have concentrated on poverty alleviation, entrepreneurial development, and job creation for the youth. And that is what we really need. So we are all working together as a group and as a party. Some are doing the roads, and some are creating the jobs, while some are giving food to the needy.
That's nice. Well, actually, laugh is trying to wait, because I'm going to come back to that.
Yeah.
What is your relationship with your people in your constituency? Because with what I've seen so far, really, I just need to ask you, so it won't really look as if I'm voicing it out myself. What are your relationship with your people? Why is it that they love you so much? they celebrate you, they want to be around you. What is it that you're doing for them that is making them to fall this madly in love with your person?
Well, you know, as I said earlier, I'm a grassroots politician. We grew up together with them, and I have gone through the trenches of the democratic experience in the country. As I have told you, I started from the grassroots and grew all the way, and I have been in political party management. So I know what is the problem of the local man, because I have been with them. I know their problems, and I'm trying to address the problem squarely. Okay. One, our major problem is unemployment. 90% or 95% of our youths, both the young men and women, are unemployed. And a large number of them have gone into all sorts of vices, like drugs and so on, because you know, an idle mind is always the devil's workshop. So during my campaigns, I told them I am not going to promise them government jobs, because the jobs are not there, but we are going to create jobs for them. So that is why immediately after my elections, before I was sworn in, I built the Captain Buba Industrial Village, where I intend to train these youths in different skills. And in 6 months, we are able to graduate over 650 of these women and youths in different skills. We have about 7 departments: the ICT, the carpentry, fabrication of agri machineries. We also have a women department where we teach them sewing, weaving, etc. And we train them and empower them. Not just train them, but empower them. Give them tools to go and start their businesses. And we are doing well. And we also look at another major problem that is affecting our people is water. Up till today, in this 21st century, people go to the stream to get water to drink. So that is why I embarked personally, not my constituency project, but personally I embarked on sinking about 300 boreholes.
Wow.
And that is each per unit. And I have 254 units, and some additional ones to the district heads, to some hospitals and schools and so on. So I am on that project. Right now we have done about over 200. In our local government we have done about 8 wards. We have 4 to go, and in the other local government we've done about 6 wards, and we have 4 to go. So the project is ongoing and people are happy, because when you have clean water, you are taking care of a lot of health problems, etc. And we've also gone into even developing some of the roads that are not accessible, because you have villages that in the rainy season they can't bring out sick people to the hospitals, they can't move their farm produce to the market and so on. So I've also gone into that and doing some culverts and repairing some rural roads for them. So those are some of the sacrifices we are doing, and we are on it.
This is wonderful. Like that's the reason why I keep running after him, because I know he's done a lot. Now, sir, thank you very much for what you've been doing for your people. I and my crew will so much appreciate you, and we hope God keep giving you the strength. Now, with the recession right now in the country, how are you able to achieve all this?
Well, as I told you, I've been a farmer, and I'm also a businessman. So before contesting for this position. So the whole thing is about people. And one of the things that inspired me to go for this position is to do what I am doing, to give to the people. This is what I have been doing all my life. My hobby is giving to the people. And even out of this position, that is what I've been doing, and that is what I will continue to do. So I don't mind using my personal resources to touch the life of the people. 70% of what I'm doing is with my personal resources, not with the government resources, because since we came in, the first constituency project we about doing is for the 2016, and which I am going to do during the Easter. And what I'm doing with my first constituency project in the National Assembly is to give agri input to the farmers to go back to farm, because the rainy season is by the corner. I want to increase the agricultural production, because we are just coming out of the insurgency, and so the people will need food and food and food. So that is what I'm doing with the first constituency project.
Wow, that's lovely. That's wonderful, sir. Now, sir, how do you relax? You go out, you walk, you want to make people out there smile. How do you now relax after a very stressful day?
Well, really, I really don't. I really can't say how I relax, because my days are always busy. And when I come back home in the evening, I go straight to bed. And I will be in bed till like 12 p.m. before I doze off. So if I'm not doing the job, I am in bed thinking about how to do the job the next day. So that is how it is. But what makes me calm and happy is when I am really helping the people. That makes me happy.
So when you see them happy, you are okay.
That's all.
So you don't listen to any music, you don't, maybe you don't any sports. What do you do most times too? No matter how you want to go back to your bed and think about things, maybe a little bit of sports or music while you are doing those things.
I have a gym in my house, but I hardly go to the gym. But I'm trying to.
Well, you did today, because I actually saw you doing that today.
Yeah, I'm trying to discipline myself so that I won't. I will reduce my weight, so I can live longer to keep serving the people.
Thank you very much. I love that. Now you want to, live longer to serve your people. Now, so as a grassroots person, which the gallery is all about, the grassroots people, what is your advice to those that see you as a leader and in one way or the other aspire to be like you someday? What are your advice to them?
Well, I am always a mentor to people around me, more especially the young ones. And what I want them to grab from me is to know that whatever you want to do, you have to start small, because the big is always in the small. So don't wait until you have, I need capital, until you have big money before you can start something. You can start from the scratch. And that was how I started. My first agricultural experience, the only thing I got from my grandfather was a hoe and a cutlass. And I went to the bush and I harvested some few bags of corn and some beans. And that was what I used to start my first restaurant, fast food restaurant. And that is how the story continued. So you don't need big money to start. Wherever you find yourself, don't complain. Just look at the opportunities around you. Nigeria is full of a lot of potentials. Everywhere you move around in Nigeria, potentials. Money is all over, but unfortunately, the attention of our youth is diverted to white-collar job. The money is not in the white-collar job, especially where you have a society where corruption is not there. If you go in to work in government and depend only on your salary, you know that a farmer that goes to his farm and produce some rice or maize or whatever will earn more than you. So let us try to focus on different skills and be self-employed instead of looking up to white-collar jobs.
So what are also your advice to the youth out there who want to one day venture into politics?
Yeah, politics is, we encourage all our youths to venture into politics. We have different levels of politics, because if we all venture into politics, then we will have good governance. So we shouldn't just fold our arms and allow few bad ones to make the noise. We should all be part of it so that we can take our destiny into our hands and determine who becomes our leader. If we all go into it and develop interest in it, then the few bad ones will not have their way. Instead, we will always pick the best to represent us. Politics is all about governance, and governance is all about service to the people, not service to yourself, but to the people. So if you put in good leaders who have conscience, I assure you that you will even be begging for people that will go in there. Because if you have good conscience, service is not a child's play. It's real. That's why we call our leaders servants. The leaders are supposed to be servants who will serve their people. So all our youths should develop interest in politics, make sure they get their voters' cards, make sure they participate in voting. Just participating in voting, you are already in politics, because you are determining who becomes the leader. So there are different levels of politics, and our youth should make sure they are part of it.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Before we call it a day, I want you to tell my viewers out there your name again, and tell them to keep watching the gallery.
Well, I'm Yusuf Buba Yakubu, popularly called Yusuf Captain Buba, and I encourage all of you out there to keep watching the gallery.
Thank you very much, my viewer. We have to call it a day, but I still remain your host, Mercy Osoya, on the gallery. Goodbye and remain blessed.
This is another pathetic situation in Muson Okonla local government, Egbeda. This is Abigail from Kogi State. According to the information we gathered, Abigail and his brother Abdul were brought from Kogi State a year ago by a man who claims to be their uncle. Instead, to take good care of them, he sends them out to hawk pure water under hot sun. After selling, they give the money to a particular woman to pay for a local savings called a job as instructed by their uncle. This is the woman they give the money to each time they finish selling their pure water. The matter was getting very serious that we had to take them to the Executive Secretary office, Mrs. Akindele Aduni Okbemi. This is their uncle, a car washman, and the wife who hawks too.
This one, father no dey alive, mother no dey alive. So then they with me, we live at River State with our father, see my ID card, father ID card. So we came here in January. I meet with them the day I go bring them come this February. So as I don't have anything now, my father too don't die. So I just rush come here. As I come here, the money I did with me, I use rent house. So I no get one error again. So my mother did this condition. I say okay, they should go and find small money come so that we use it help ourselves.
At the end, an agreement was reached that the children should not be seen anywhere again hawking. Mrs. Akindele Adoni promised to give the children admission into the public school in this area with the assurance of taking care of their uniforms and books.